Hello, and thank you for joining this episode of Behind the Curtain. I'm your host, Gio Battaglia. We are outside the News 8 studio and in front of OFC Creations Theater Center here in Brighton, where rehearsals are underway for How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. Now, this production stars Garrett Clayton, who you may know from Hairspray Live, Disney's Teen Beach movie, but now he's putting on the green suit, and I had a chance to speak with him one-on-one. Here's that interview. Welcome back to Rochester.
Thank you.
What brought you back to OFC Creations for this production of The Grinch?
Well, they gave me a call about this production of The Grinch, and he was asking, Eric was asking if I was interested. Eric Von Johnson, who is the founder. And ironically, this was like the first monologue I learned when I became an actor, and I think we all hold this story very dear in different ways, and I've always been a fan, so I wanted to jump in.
This is the first Rochester-produced version of How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the musical. What was your reaction, kind of? I know that you just said when it's very near and dear to your heart, but just thinking about the time of year and the type of show.
Yeah, I love really physical, immersive type roles. I'm very lucky that I've gotten to do such intensely different characters from my own self. You know, last time I was here being Frankenfurter, and before that getting to be like the Pennywise in the It musical, and I just feel so lucky that I get these like really kind of vastly different roles that you really get to sink your teeth into. It's a lot of really good music, and it's a really fun costume, and there's so much comedy, and I think this production, which is, you know, there's some holiday shows that might read for an older audience, some that might read for a much younger one, and I think this kind of bridges that gap a little bit for, you know, families that might have adults and children and teens and people in their 20s. Like, there's kind of something for everyone in this show, which I think is the beauty of The Grinch, is that it kind of really is for everyone.
And how are you putting your own iconic spin on such an iconic character?
Just like with any, I guess, iconic role, it's important that you honor the material. And what I like about how they've structured the musical is that you can kind of feel the nods from the original creators to the book or the cartoon or the live action. Like, there's so much through line with all of it. And I tend to be I guess, more of an outgoing, I pontificate a lot. Like, it feels very natural for me to be obnoxious. So I get to have a lot of fun with this. It just feels like it really is just such a joy.
In these leading roles, like Frankenfurter, last time you were here, you have this sort of last time you had, you know, control over the main characters, and this time you kind of have the mischievous and mean characteristics of the Grinch. So how do those kind of compare and contrast?
You know, I actually, I think in acting, it's one of the first things you learn is like, if you play what would be like a villain or an anti-hero, they never think of themselves that way. So it's always important for the performer to justify these things. And so in my mind, in the way that I do see the Grinch, is he kind of like, he calls, I don't want to swear. He kind of doesn't deal with any kind of false or facade or anything. So to him, or to me as the character, there's, you know, a lot of focus on presence and what people get, and you know, Christmas isn't about things, it's about the people, it's about the love. And so I think for him, that's really the justification of feeling like, if I am cranky, it's because your morals are in the wrong place. You know, you judge me for the way I look, but I haven't actually done anything wrong. I've never hurt anybody. I've never stolen anything. And it's kind of the Alphaba effect, when it's like, fine, you know, this is kind of the Grinch's, when he decides to steal Christmas, it's like, fine, if I'm the villain you all call me, then I'm going to show you what a villain can do. And then through that, he really learns the lesson of like, and I think they both kind of, that's the beauty of a show like this, is they, you know, the Who's are realizing it really isn't about the things, and it really is about the love and their family. And for the Grinch, he's kind of, his eyes are open to, you know, it really isn't about those things. And maybe I am, you know, for pushing away, I've really water down my life, and it can be so much more rich if I let people in and see who I am, instead of running away just because they judged me. Maybe I show them who I am with my actions.
I love that, the alphabet effect. That's absolutely a perfect way to phrase it. Any musical numbers you are most excited for audiences to see?
Yeah, there's one we did for Media Day called Whatchamahoo with the kids, which I think is such a fun number, and it's really fun for, like I said, like adults and families get to watch this number, and I think it's a crowd pleaser. You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. I know everyone's going to be excited to watch us sing and steal things. And then I think the surprise for the audience will be the Act 1 closer. They're not going to expect what we're doing, and I'm not going to give it away.
Absolutely not. We've seen you in so many roles: TV, movies, theater. What keeps drawing you back to live theater?
To me, it's the groundwork of a performer. I teach a lot, and so I always, at least in my opinion, it's okay if other people don't want to do theater. But to me, if you really love this profession, I think the groundwork and the work ethic of theater really speaks volumes to what you can do for longevity in a career. There's the work ethic of showing up every night, or even in rehearsals. You're doing this piece over and over and over again, and in rehearsals you're doing it over and over and over again. And so you always have to find different ways to justify it feeling like the first time you said it. And then what I tell young people or performers in teaching is, this kind of transcends into film and TV. If the director is asking you to do 30 takes of something, you don't feel like the well is dry. So if you've done your homework and you've learned technique and you're able to say like, oh, well, whatever version of this technique for this scene isn't working for me now, well, let me dig into my well and see like what other tools in my toolbox do I have to keep this alive every night, or to keep it alive for every take. So there's a lot of these things that I think are a through line for a strong performer. And there's also the community aspect of theater. What I really love, I guess, lastly about theater is that in film, you can an editor, a smart editor and a good director can always cut around a poor performance, but on stage, you can see right away if someone can do their job. And there's no hiding it. There's no editing around it. There's no lighting that can fix it. It really is like, did you show up? Are you able to do the job? And that's what I love about it.
Nice. What's it been like working with this OFC cast? And it's a mix of performers from across the country and local kids. What's kind of been the energy in the room?
Everyone's been really collaborative, and I keep texting Eric that, you can tell everybody just wants to put on a really strong, great production of this show, and luckily, we're already completely sold out in our opening weekend, and this show's only running 3 weekends, and the other shows are already selling really well. So I think for all of us, knowing that there are a lot of people coming to this, it's important for everyone to put on a really great production. And luckily, we do all get along really well, and everyone has been so yes and about everything that it's been a lot of fun, and it really is a joy in rehearsals.
What do you think audiences will connect to the most when they come see it?
I really think families are going to love the comedy in this show. I think the musical numbers are really strong, and the heartstrings of the Cindy Lou Who plot, I think, are really going to really draw people in.
Has revisiting this story as an adult changed how you see the character from when you first learned that monologue?
I've always loved the Grinch, and I personally have never really seen him as villainous. So a lot of the things I'm using to justify my work in this role and for him right now are the things I've thought about him. So maybe I approach it with more of a maturity now, but a lot of those kind of grounding points are all still there.
If you could say one thing as the Grinch to get those audiences to sell out those remaining weekends, what would it be?
Say one thing as the Grinch? I like when there's like playing with the Santa suit when he's or trying on different clothes, and he's like, does this make me look fat? I just love it. Oh my gosh, he's so much fun.
Very excited. Anything I didn't touch on that you think is important to know about the show?
Honestly, I think the important things is that this is a great show for people of all ages. It's a really good time. It's a really fast show. So you're not stuck in here for a 3-hour musical. It's a tight, hour and a half, 2 hours, and people are going to have a really good time. And if they want something to do with their families during the holiday season, this is definitely the thing for you.
Now, as Garrett mentioned, tickets are sold out for the show's first weekend, but those remaining tickets are still available, but they are going fast. We have a link of how you can get yours over on our website. That's rochesterfirst.com. Coming up after the break, we're switching hosts for a little bit. News 8's Reilly Mullen sits down with WWE's Ilja Dragunov ahead of their appearance in Rochester. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Reilly Mullen, and I'll be filling in for Gio for our next segment. Our next guest is coming to town for an act that's equally as competitive as it is entertaining. Wrestling is coming back to Rochester for the first time since 2023 for the WWE Live Holiday Tour. Reigning U.S. champion Ilja Dragunov joins me to discuss all the excitement coming to the Blue Cross Arena on December 28th. Ilja, thank you for joining me.
Lovely, sounds good.
So how did you get into to professional wrestling? What brought you to the WWE?
I mean, what brought me to WWE is like a long path that is that started like 13 years ago. Meanwhile, I mean, like I'm a Russian-born and German-raised boy. So basically, I came to Germany, which I lived the most part of my life with 5 years of age, and I remember just in my youth, I was always kind of like a pretty expressive kid, and always tried to find like the thing that I like to do the most. And I tried a bunch of some different sports. I played handball. I was pretty good at high jump in school, like in the light athletics, or I don't know if you'd call it like track and field in the States. So, but like through different connections, through friends, I discovered wrestling for myself, and it started all with like some random friend coming up to me and say like, "Hey, we do wrestling somewhere in the gymnasium." I don't know if it was Freital, Germany, whatever, very small town, and there were just basically a few guys who were imitating what they see in WWE. And I didn't have like any contact with that beforehand because I was not watching wrestling. I maybe saw one match on TV, but that was pretty much it. But that was the first time me trying out things, and it was not professional at all. But I remember after this whole thing kind of stopped, years later, one of the, at the moment, professionals from Germany who was like going through the very small German independent scene opened up a wrestling school in my hometown, Dresden, in Germany. And it was a very humbling beginning without a ring, where we were taking bumps on a mat, like on a mat that is maybe that thin or something like that, pretty painful. But like, this was really the moment for me when things started to pick up, and the German independent scene at that time was pretty small, but with my progression through going through it and a bunch of wonderful, great talent that I had the opportunity to share time with, I went on more and more bookings in Germany. From Germany, where I tried to make a name for myself, I went to the UK. From the UK, I went to the States, and the rest is kind of history, because in 2018-19, I signed my contract with a company, with WWE. And since then, I came from NXT UK to NXT to Raw to SmackDown. So it was kind of like a progression over years where you just use every possibility that you get to make a name for yourself. Because if you don't make a name for yourself and the company doesn't know who you are and is not intrigued to do something with you, you're not going to get anywhere. And I'm fortunate that I got somewhere through the skill set and the uniquenesses that I possess, in my opinion.
So you just touched a little bit on, having a persona, the theatrics that come with something like WWE, where we think of a traditional sport, this is just a little bit more theatrical. What inspires you when it comes to the theatrical aspect of a wrestling match? Where do you drive the fun, like exhilarating aspect of that from?
I mean, talking about theatrical, I think everything. There's no business. There's no, if you want to call it a sport. For me, it's like between the sport, the art, whatever you want to call it. Like, there's nothing that covers so many areas in its totality how wrestling does and how WWE does, because you got the athleticism, you got the emotional part, the way that people just get captivated by watching it. And for me personally, it was always about self-expression, because I think if you watch my work specifically, I'm very overexpressive, I'm very emotional, I'm very passionate when I'm in the ring, and these are things that I carry with me exactly the same way in my private life. So everything you see from me in the ring is pretty honest and pretty much what I am in my personal life, just a few levels higher. Let's say it that way. And I think this is what inspired me the most about it, because I don't need to change myself for that. I can make the most out of my persona and I can just maximize it. And over the years, I realized that part of the audience, a big part of the audience, really connects with that because it's honest. So I support professional wrestling in that sense the most, because it's the most self-expressing thing that I personally know. And this is the life I want to live, combined with all the athleticism and combined with my willingness for physicality. Because this is something I, as a performer, stand for the most, because people know, okay, Ilja Dragunov has a match, it's going to get physical, it's going to get rough. Because everything that happens in that ring, all these blows are still very, very, very real. And you got to be conditioned and ready to take those. And this is the scenario where I personally feel the most live.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to the upcoming show that we have going on at the Blue Cross Arena here, what would you say to fans who maybe they haven't attended a live WWE event before? How is this going to be different than a televised program that they might have seen?
Because I wanted to tell them that the atmosphere in the arena is entirely different. Because when you stand in an arena and people are there with you, and just everyone lets himself go, because everyone got their favorites. Some people they love, some people they hate, some people they cheer for, some people they boo. As a part of the audience, and with those thousands of fans, just to letting yourself go and believe what we perform for you in that ring, all these wonderful characters and all this high level athleticism, this is just a perfect combination to have a night that you don't forget.
And then what about fans who maybe aren't even fans yet? People who have never even watched a televised WWE match. Why should they come out to the event?
Because they want to feel something. Because they want to be emotionally captivated. Because I think, how I said before, there's nothing like wrestling that covers so many areas of entertainment. You can be inspired, or you can be captivated by the matches that you see, by the fights that you see. You can be captivated by people presenting and how they talk. You can be captivated by the storylines that get told. There are so many areas where people can connect with, and characters that they connect with, that it's, of course, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but I think if you give it a chance, you can be actually pretty much connected to it, because a lot of characters you can actually pretty much relate to yourself and to the world outside of you.
So with a tour like this, it obviously gives you the opportunity to visit a lot of different places. Had you heard of Rochester before? Have you ever been here? Anything you're looking forward to?
I mean, I must say personally, I think if I would be American, I probably would. But I mean, of European heritage, so I must say my geography when it comes down to the States is still quite limited. But I definitely heard of the city, and I personally, the most beautiful part about my job is visiting different places, meeting different people, and experience all those different cultural nuances that all those places have to offer. So if you ask me, I can't wait to be there and light up that place with the rest of the audience, like every other place that I'm going to.
Fortunately, with the event being around the holiday season, Western New York is a very snowy location, so I'm sure that'll help bring the holiday vibes for the event as well. So in my research, and I've watched a lot of like videos on like your Instagram and all that jazz, and I had noticed that you wear like a knee brace from like a previous injury. We were wondering, is there any chance with the continued use of the knee brace, are you going to decorate it to match the rest of your outfit at any point? Are there any plans to incorporate that?
Possibly. I mean, like I thought about it. Of course, when I was just recently injured and I just came back maybe 5-6 weeks ago and had a pretty hot start. And yeah, I think the other pieces all around my outfit were more significant to me, and the brace is possibly something that I want to get rid of as fast as possible as I can. But I also I like the different nuances, and I like how raw it is. So while everything is like that I wear is pretty expressive and pretty cultural, back on my roots, maybe I'm possibly gonna ask my girlfriend if she can help me with that.
And then just to wrap up, finally the match is going to be pretty close to the new year. Is there anything exciting that fans should look forward to when it comes to the WWE in 2026?
I mean, like, there's everything that is exciting about WWE right now is already going on, and I think WWE is best at always step up a level each year. And this is what we're doing. When I've been on the sidelines, I've been watching how everything around the WWE is growing. So I would say expect the unexpected, be ready to be surprised, never take anything for sure because everything can change at any point of time. And this is how you write great stories. And this is what WWE is standing for, captivating stories.
Awesome. And then is there anything that I didn't specifically ask you about that you want to mention? Or Nick, is there any talking points that we overlooked?
No, I really can't wait to come to Rochester. I really can't wait with me and the rest of my colleagues to again light up the place, give the people what they want for having an amazing night, and hopefully see as much people as possible there. And tickets are now available at Ticketmaster.
Excited to talk about this latest season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. First off, it's not every day we see the three of you in one room. So what brought you all together for this, and what made it a yes for each of you?
Well, I mean, on my behalf, first of all, thank you so much for having us this morning. On my behalf, I am 7 seasons in since day one. So I think Love and Hip Hop Miami is just a way of living at this point. Trick Daddy as well, he's been in this journey with us since day one. So, you know, you've been able to see the evolution and the growth of our, not only just music career, but also of our personal life. Not always necessarily in the most positive way, but we have tried to be somewhat as honest and transparent as possible. Michael Blackson, on the other hand, he is new to the chaos. So I guess that question would go rather better for him.
Yeah, Michael, what was it like for you jumping in on this season?
You know what? It was very interesting. You know, I mean, it's been a lot of fun. Not as much fun as I thought. You know, my life, I pretty much exposed a lot of things I was keeping to myself for the past maybe year. You know, and I mean, it's kind of it bit me a little bit in the ass a little bit. But besides that, I'm having a great time with the cast. I haven't got a chance to meet with Amara on set. I mean, I've known her for a few years. I've always been a fan. And actually, at one time, we hung up in LA at one time, right? Remember we hung out in LA at one time at my place? And then, but Trick, I've been a fan of Trick since day one.
Hey, hold on, pause. Let's clarify that really quick. Yes, that's right. One time at your place with my manager and our whole crew were all there. Thank you very much. We're not letting none of this go viral. Not that
we're
way,
not
Michael.
doing all that.
I love
I
it.
got my own stuff going on, Michael. So anyways, go ahead. You were saying about Trick?
We're not doing. We don't gotta explain.
Oh yes, we do.
You didn't hang out. You know, I'm mad.
Miami.
I'm mad because you never hung out with me at my place. Why you ain't never hang out with me at my place?
No. Hey, this is not about me. Michael was talking about you, Trey. Go ahead.
I mean, as far as Trick, I've been a fan of Trick. I remember seeing Trick way back in the early 2000s when the Source Award was in Miami. I mean, he was just a young guy, probably just got out of jail. I'm not sure where he came from, but I mean, I'm a fan of his music. You know, I always been a fan from day one, and it was. Then I ran into Trick again at a comedy show I did in Miami with me, Mike Epps, and a bunch of guys. He came up backstage, and I got to meet him again. And the thing about it, I'm sure he's a fan of comedy. So when we saw each other, you know, we kind of like felt like we knew each other. You know, so I felt like he's like the godfather of the city, and it's just great to get a chance to did about three scenes or something together. Right? And I mean, it's been great, interesting. I met his wife, and who is also a roommate. So I was really confused what's going on in Trick's life.
Well, you know what? Well, like Amada said, we've been doing it for 7 seasons. Really, technically 9, because they put this B season on us last year and this year, so technically 9. But yeah, I've been in love with Amada since we started filming this, and then she had 2 twins on me, and I was confused about that. And then Michael Blasted coming here, he got 2 baby mamas, 3 girlfriends, 5 women pregnant. I don't know what's going on right now. I ain't gonna never be able to get my life together.
I can't.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Let's talk a little bit about the fans of the show. Let's take a little left turn here. When fans see the 3 of you, they think legacy and influence. What impact do you hope you're making on the next generation watching you?
I hope that the fans realize that this is our life. You know what I'm saying? And some people go out of their way to do stupid things, dangerous things, and a lot of disrespectful things to go viral. This is our life, and I'm intrigued that they find it amusing and entertaining. But this is our life. This is the things that we go through on day-to-day basis, man, and I don't think you can get more up close and personal in this day and time than Love and Hip Hop Miami.
On my behalf, I feel that since day one, when I first, became part of the Love and Hip Hop Miami franchise, a family, my point has always been to be impactful to my community. You know, originally people met me as being an advocate, which I still am for the Afro-Latino community. As time has evolved, and showcasing my personal life, maybe things haven't been as perfect as people would have expected of me. Because when you fall in love, you can't necessarily control where your heart is going to go. But I will say this season, my most important thing in the mix of all the drama that has occurred is to showcase what it is to be a single mom of twins, and still maintaining, my career, trying to maintain friendships, people all up in your business, people that are irrelevant that need me, of course, to be known and recognized. And, I get it. But the truth is that I agree with Trick. Like, this is our life. I know that to some people it's entertaining, even the drama, the tears, and all of it. I hope that people can take something positive out of our story, wherever they can. But I hope that they can take something positive out of it.
I got 2 questions I want to ask my Amada. Did you just confess your love to me? When you said...
Trey, that's a conversation we're going to have on some episode of Love and Hip Hop.
Okay.
That'll be for next season.
Exactly. What about Michael?
For me, it's always been about transparency. I always try to just be open. Being a comedian, the fans feel so attached to us. Whenever I'm in public and they approach me, they feel like they know me. And because of that, I just decided to just, if you're going to get to know Mike, you're going to know everything about Mike, And a lot of times people keep things to themselves and live this secret life. But me, since the day I've met my fiance, I've been open with her from day one. And it's just like you say, it's our real life. It is my real. People look at me like, this is my real life that I've decided to put on television. And it's been a little tough, but I'm fighting through it, and I'm becoming stronger. And, I'm just living my truth.
I love it. Thank you guys so much for sharing. I'm excited to see how your vulnerability and your banter couple together on this season of Love and Hip Hop Miami. Tuesday nights on BET Cast. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 on demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.